2024 is officially at the end. 2025 is knocking on the door. So you know what? That means I can share with you all the fragrances that I was the most excited to pick up that entered my collection this year for 2024. This list was hard. Oh my goodness, I had to comb through this so many times. But alas, we arrived at, yes, the lucky number of 17. So no, this isn't like a top 10 or a top 20. No, this just was the best. These were the ones that brought me the most joy. The ones I just found myself reaching for the most. And even now, after all 12 months later, after smelling so many things, receiving so many different things, buying so many different things, all the above, these were the ones that here at the end of the year, they still stand out and stick out to me the most. Let's get into it. Lipstick of the day today, everyone. I'm rocking out with MAC, and this is MAC Pink Peppermint New Lipstick. You all know I've been loving this one this season. A new release from the brand. Get into it. As always, everything on my face will be in the description box below, so you do not have to ask questions about it. Next up, we have fragrance of the day, and I'm wearing a sample, you all. A sample of a scent I originally hated, but now I'm starting to love it because I keep reaching for this scent, you know? We have Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex, you all. This right here, it came out right at the end of 2023. Really more so got traction 2024 at the beginning of the year. But this is one I remember it was giving plastic doll head at first. Now I've had this for several months. Playing in it. It's winter when I'm playing in this now, and I'm like, do I need a bottle of it now? Because you can see I've used it up practically. I've almost used this whole thing up. So Tom Ford's Vanilla 6 you may see in a future haul sooner rather than later. And now let's get into the fragrances that were my favorites to pick up this year. The first one, this one has a scent memory and a trip memory tied to it. I discovered, you all, and fell in love with love at first sniff, Jusbox Torino number 22. You all know back in February, that's when I discovered this one. I discovered it while on a trip, and I smelled it while at Perfumology in Philadelphia, and I was like, what is this? Sprayed it on me and everything, and I was getting my entire life, and I knew I had to have this fragrance. So this is one, it reminds me of Valentine's Day weekend. It reminds me of Philadelphia, which I love Philadelphia. That city has a special place in my heart. But this scent, wow. It's a clary sage, eucalyptus type of scent. It's also saffron in here. It's also kind of sweet too. It's kind of musky. This is so unique to me, and it doesn't smell like anything else. Most importantly, it left an impression on me, and it's very rare, especially when you're like traveling and you're smelling a whole bunch of things, that something just completely blows everything else out of the water. And for me, it was Torino number 22. So this is one that I discovered at the beginning of the year. So again, it was February, Valentine's Day weekend, but I still am in love with this scent, and it still stands out even now in December. So that again is Jusbox Torino number 22. Next one, this was also a more so quarter 1, beginning of the year discovery. It actually was a blind buy too, so that's really saying something. We have from the house of Dior, we have Miss Dior 2024. Miss Dior Parfum 2024 is the full name. You all know me and this scent went together for the springtime. I picked it up back in March. So March, April, I was wearing this down. This became my Sunday perfume, and it's just simply a good fragrance. This is your classic fruit chuli type of scent. It's wild strawberry, it's peaches in here, it's mandarin, patchouli. There's also some moss in here too, y'all. But most importantly, this is a classically feminine fragrance. This was one, again, like I said, it became my Sunday perfume, my church perfume. I didn't have to wonder if I was gonna smell pretty and feminine and rather crowd pleasing. It was this scent for me. I just knew it was gonna work, and I did get a lot of compliments wearing this one. So this was one that it brought me a lot of joy, but it also brought others around me a lot of joy. And most importantly, it was a successful blind buy, and it's rare that I blind buy, so we love this one even more for being a good blind buy. That again is Miss Dior Parfum 2024 from the house of Dior. Now this next one is because it took this fragrance to finally make me get my first purchase from this house. And we're talking about Creed's Carmina, you all. Okay, this thunderstorming. Creed's Carmina. I've never owned a Creed fragrance until now. I had sampled them, you know, sprayed them here and there, but I never felt compelled to purchase a Creed until Carmina entered the chat. This was another spring discovery for me. I had a sample of it back, say January, February, but then March, April is when I was like, I'm gonna need a full-size bottle of this. Carmina was a big deal because this was Creed's first time doing cherry, and of course it was a niche cherry fragrance, but it also has rose and peony in it for me and some saffron. I love peony more than anything. It's one of my favorite flowers. We don't get it often, so for me, it was the cherry with the peony that really sung out for me. This is gorgeous. There's some spices in here because like some frankincense, I think, and some myrrh. It's Creed, so you know we got a lot going on. But most importantly, this was the fragrance that finally made me become a Creed girl. So that is why this scent is significant for 2024, because I finally officially started my Creed journey with Creed's Carmina. Now this next fragrance was also a blind buy. So this right here was from the house of Memo Paris, you all, and this is Memo Paris Granada. Me and Memo Paris had a run because I fell in love with the house back in January. So January and February, I had a lot of love for Memo Paris. I was wearing a lot of them. I still love them. But however, Granada for me was the most successful one. This is the one that stood out above all of the others. And I have at least like 7 Memo Paris fragrances in my collection, and majority of them were picked up this year. But Granada, I kept reaching for this one, you all. There's pomegranate in here. There's like orange flower. There's like a honey accord in here, something to it. A must. This is just pretty. There's a nostalgic vibe to it. It's like a sweet orange blossom, something going on in here. Powdery, feminine. It's just happy to me. Very happy. It actually technically would be more of like a summer fragrance, but for some reason I was rocking this out at the beginning of the year. So Granada, again, blind buy, successful blind buy of a scent, and I'm happy I did it because this is good and it should be talked about more. But Memo Paris's Granada was a win for 2024. Now this next fragrance had a redemption story. This is from the house of Parfums de Marly Wall, and this is Safenade. I had smelled Safenade a million times on counter. Every time I go to Nordstrom, I'm like, let me smell it. Let me smell it. And I'm like, no. And I end up loving something else, you know. But for some reason, it finally clicked for me this year, and I'm like, okay, now I love this. And I continue to wear it, and the more I wear it, the more I love it. So that's why I say this was more of the redemption story arc of the year right here, which is Safenade. It has y'all petitgrain in here. There's orange blossom. There's also ylang ylang in here too, which is why I say this one could actually be a summer scent because there's a little bit of that tropical aspect to it. But you can also wear it in cold weather. This scent has layers to it, and I finally understood that this year. And I'm like, I love this. Like at first I was like, oh, it's transparent, but it's gotten thicker the longer it's setting up. So I'm like, now I love it. The vanilla in here too, the amber, I'm getting this. I'm getting this. It's a different take on femininity, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I finally see the light, you all. And now we have Parfums de Marly Safenade. This one was a total win redemption arc fragrance for 2024. Next up, we have a similar story kind of to the Creed situation. We also got our first Roja Parfum fragrance this year. Roja Parfums Elysium Parfum. This was a new release for 2024, but most importantly, it was the first time I ever explored the house of Roja. And what made me even care to really be like, oh, I want to deep dive into this house anymore because this scent is beautiful to me. Classic femininity, fruity floral. This was gorgeous. Me and this scent had a run as well, you all. There's peach in here. There's blackberries in here too. There's like some lily of the valley, violet. It's like a ton of florals in here. There's also musk in here too. This was another Sunday perfume for me. It was giving Sunday's best. If you all remember my video I did, this was in there, and I'm loving this fragrance because when in doubt, a classically feminine fruity floral scent is going to get the job done. I'm going to put this on. I know I'm going to like a family event, whatnot. I don't want to do too much. Throw this on. Throw this on. So most importantly, I enjoyed this one because it introduced me to the house of Roja Parfums, and it really did bring me a lot of joy. I kept reaching for it. So there's that. This was a summer find for me. This was one that came into my collection around that time of year. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm still loving it now that it's December. Now this next one is a testament of when you go to a fragrance boutique or fragrance outing and you completely discover a brand new house that you never knew existed. So you all, back in March, I went to Scentsplorer they had in Nashville. Of course, we know people know about the big one that just occurred, Scentsplorer that happens in New York, but they decided to bring us one down south into my home state, which is Tennessee. So of course I went. At the event, I was able to meet the creator, founder, perfumer of Zarnell Gilly. Hello if you're watching. And I discovered this fragrance right here, House. This scent stole the show, and I smelled a ton of fragrances. I mean, if you know anything about a fragrance boutique or a fragrance conference, you're gonna smell at minimum 100 things. You know, this is kind of how it is. But this right here, I smelled it at the beginning of when I walked in, and then I walked around, smelled a whole bunch of other stuff, but then I was like, no, I want House. So this right here, hands down, was my favorite discovery, indie brand, new brand, never heard of, but the scent blew me away, you all. So in here, this is a raspberry fragrance. It's an extrait de parfum too. Oh, this is so good, yes. This is a raspberry scent. Sweet raspberry, there's cashmere in here, there's saffron in this one. Some tonka bean in here. This one smells juicy. I have worn this out to date nights. I've worn this to like pool parties, outdoor events, and it leaves a scent trail. It's kind of thick but airy at the same time, but most importantly, this is a raspberry scent and it's sexy. Doesn't smell like anything else in my collection. So hands down, happy I met Zarnell Gilly. I'm also happy that I met that I also discovered this fragrance house. And most importantly, all the fragrances are named after genres of music because the founder is a DJ, by the way, too. So all of the fragrances have a music connotation. I actually have samples that were kindly sent to me from the brand. I will be doing a video on those later on. But yeah, this house, fire. This fragrance house, amazing. House meaning house music. So that is hands down the best discovery for as an indie brand of the year. Now this next one, now you all know Kayali gave us a ton of releases this year, but this one was the one that stood out the most. It's my favorite of the bunch. We have the Kayali Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar number 42. This one was the best one for the year. This one came out late spring going into summer, but this is one, it still had me in a hold because this smells like liquid sugar. There's also a note of bubblegum in here. So we got candy, pear, sweet violet, bubblegum, white caramel, rock sugar, vanilla cream. This is so sweet, syrupy, sugary sweet, but it's fun. This is fun. It makes me happy. And it also layers well with other things too. When I did this video, you all know that. But this is the one that brings me the most joy out of all of the Kayali fragrances for the year. This was a good time in a bottle and I'm okay with that. That again is the Kayali Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar number 42. The next fragrance you want, this one could arguably be the best fragrance for summer 2024, period. This one had a run, not just in my collection, but also in the fragrance community as a whole. But we're talking about you all, Jusbox's Carioca Heart. You all know I had a run with this scent. Was it April, May when I picked this up? I'm glad I picked it up at the end of spring going into summer because me and this scent were together. Like we were together like glue. So you all, this is a mango scent, mango and brox, and there's also pineapple in here too. But there's peony and rum in this scent. And again, you all know I like peony and rum. This smells like a summer tropical drink. But the thing is, this one lasts and goes the distance. Because a lot of times, summer fragrances do not be lasting long. If you get 3 to 4 hours out of them, this one though went the distance. And that's why I enjoyed this one so much. Again, you got like ambroxan because the ambroxan is in here. But for me, this scent was everything. And that's why y'all saw it so much back during the summer months. So absolutely, this is one of my favorite pickups for the year. And this again is Jusbox's Carioca Heart. Had to get it. Plus this one I had to hunt down because it was sold out everywhere. Now this next fragrance, I put a dent in this one because me and this scent went together, y'all. We have Initio Parfums Musk Therapy. You all know, y'all saw this in a lot of my top 5s. I kept wearing this. It was scent of the day a whole lot, just all of the above back in the summertime. This is everything. And this was my girl this year. So absolutely, it's one of my favorites I picked up this year. So you all, we have cassis in here. We have bergamot, sandalwood, musk, heavy on the musk because again it's a musk fragrance. This scent right here smells so fresh and unique and musky, but also slightly woody at the same time that it got so many compliments and it went the distance. This one is a certified crowd pleaser. This one even was one of those fragrances that I put it on. HF was like, wait a minute, wait, hold on now, I gotta be going out with you with that one now. That one real good. This is one of those that he's like, oh, wait a minute now. Because he knows he like that one excites me now. Wait a minute, we can't be exciting the masses now. I gotta be with you with that one. So anywho, it's safe to say this one was certified head elf approved. But anywho, it was one of my favorites. Most importantly, it brought me a lot of joy. I kept reaching for it, so at last I'm glad I picked up Initio Parfums Musk Therapy this year. And speaking of the House of Initio, this is another one that I picked up this year, but I finally understood it, and that is Initio Parfums Side Effect. This right here, y'all, very much boozy scent, cinnamon, rum, tobacco. This is one, once fall hit, it finally made sense to me because I recently tried this out. It was still kind of warm. I was like, it's just okay. But fall hit, and I purchased this back in the summertime because I was like, okay, I caught a deal on it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna put it up. And if I like it, then we'll see what happens. You all put it up during the summertime, pulled it out September, October. This is magic in a bottle. So absolutely glad I finally picked up Initio Parfums Side Effect, you all. This one is a certified hit, one of my favorites for fall of this year. The next fragrance I picked up, you all, this one I had sampled before last year, so I knew I was gonna get it this year. This scent deserves all the hype that it gets because this is so beautiful, you all. From the House of Maison, I picked up Treasure. This is so beautiful. This is what I like to call a summer vanilla is what this is. A summer vanilla signature scent is what it is, y'all. There's orange blossom in here, there's sea notes, there's amber, there's vanilla in here, sandalwood. This right here is like luxury body care in a bottle. This is a signature scent worthy scent. Put it this way, if I'm headed to a luxurious vacation, but I want a scent that just smells like me but better, I could even wear it on an airplane. I'm gonna wear it when I'm checking in to my luxurious resort and all the above. I'm wearing Treasure. This was that scent to me. A lot of women had raved about Treasure before, but I didn't get it. I was like, I don't know. It finally clicked this year, and I'm so glad it made sense for me because, again, this is a summer vanilla scent. Like, that's why I say seasons do matter with certain fragrances. You can smell it in the wrong season, it does nothing for you. Then you smell it in another season, and then it makes sense. And that was the case right here with Treasure. Highly, highly, highly happy I picked this one up. That, again, Maison Sears Treasure. Now this next one, I smelled this fragrance in January and it lived rent-free in my head for at least 6 months. So you knew once I got the bottle, absolutely it was gonna be a standout, and I've been wearing it and wearing it. From the house of Amouage, while we have Dia 40. This one is special because this is the first one I ever picked up from their Exceptional Extrait line. I already owned Amouage fragrances from their traditional line, but the Exceptional Extraits though, they're more potent, more concentrated. Y'all, this is my favorite feminine fragrance in my collection. When I say feminine fragrance, I mean aldehydic for me. Aldehydic and florals are what I mean by favorite feminine fragrance. Dia 40. Dia 40 is so pretty. I love the Exceptional Extract so much. I even purchased the original version, the regular Dia. I guess I do pick that one, but it ain't my favorite. I still love it too, but it don't hit like the one that made me care about it in the first place. And that is Dia 40, you all. This, so slept on. This is so slept on. I'm starting to hear that more of you all are smelling it. Y'all are reaching out to me on Instagram and telling me that it's everything. I'm like, yes, Dia 40 should have been talked about more for me. But this right here, aldehydes, black currant, musk, rose, orange blossom, powdery orris in here. But most importantly, this right here is potent and lasts. And every time I have worn this scent, it turns heads, you all. I wore it to church and everything. And everybody's like, oh, what do you have on? it hits. So, you know, if it got the church mothers riled up, you know, you must really be doing something. Just saying. But Dia 40, love this one. Head F approved as well. But this one, again, lived rent-free in my head for months. So you knew a bottle had to happen. Gorgeous, fabulous, best feminine fragrance in my collection, Dia 40. Now, y'all knew this next one was going to be in here. Also from the house of Amouage, Love Delight. Because y'all heard me talk about that sample over and over and over. So you knew the full-size bottle was going to hit. Sometimes you can buy a full-size bottle and you just let it sit and don't really come back to it because you've been wearing out the sample so much. No, I kept wearing this. So that's how I know Love Delight was that girl. This came out earlier in the year. This was one of my absolute favorite fragrances for fall. I purchased it at the end of summer, but this, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is a ginger fragrance, ginger and cinnamon and rose. There's also cocoa in here and rum. This is so beautiful. One of the absolute best fragrances that I own from the house of Amouage. This one, oh, I'm still loving it. Still loving it months later, and I'm gonna continue to wear it. I need to do my Amouage ranking video, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Love Delight absolutely is in my top 5. This is gorgeous. Everything. Yes, and plus I love the fact she had a little bit of controversy in her. Some people don't love her. She's a little polarizing. That makes me love her even more, actually. I'm one of those people, just a little contrarian. So we have Amouage's Love Delight. Now this next fragrance was one of my fall finds, you all. I didn't love the original, but I love this version. Dolce & Gabbana's Devotion Intense. But y'all knew this. Simple notes, you all. Hazelnut, orange blossom, and vanilla is what it is. But it makes me happy. This is a yummy gourmand scent. The hazelnut in here gives it a nice warm touch that kind of feels holiday-ish. It is the holidays when I'm filming this. So I've been loving this one though. A win because this one redeemed this line of fragrances for me. So I absolutely love Devotion Intense. Y'all have heard me talk about it a million times already. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But last, Dolce & Gabbana's Devotion Intense was one of my favorite fragrances I picked up this year. This next one's from the house of Valentino. This came out earlier in the springtime. I reviewed it and I told y'all, I was like, this is really good. So yes, Valentino's Green Extravaganza, one of my absolute favorites. I like this one because it is a designer tea fragrance, and we do not get tea in the designer realm very often. So for me, this one was a standout. It's refreshing, it's fun, it's tea, vanilla, and jasmine is what it is. A little bit of musk. I find myself wearing this one when I'm in the house. I'm just relaxing, just kind of calming for me. So it had a calming effect, and who didn't need a little bit of peace in 2024? Because 2024 had a lot going on, just saying. So Valentino's Green Extravaganza, I did enjoy this one this year, and I'm glad I was able to pick it up in 2024. And the last fragrance to round out this year, that was one of my favorites I picked up, was this beauty right here, Sarah Baker's Peaches Revenge. This right here is decadent. Bad Girl Peach is what it is. Peach guava, there's amaretto in here. There's also cardamom in here too. Caramel. This one was fun. It was really fun, kind of sexy, and very much a date night approved scent when you really with your special person. It was that kind of fragrance for me. We don't get peach every day, but I like how the peach was done in here, that it doesn't smell like anything else. So this one was truly unique. You all saw me talking about it a lot. And this was a peach that went from spring summer when I got it, as well as into fall winter. So it's a very versatile peach fragrance, and again, it has those spices in it. That's why I enjoy this one. So that again is Sarah Baker's Peaches Revenge. So right, everyone, that wraps up my favorite fragrances that I picked up in the year of 2024. Let me know what you think about my list. Also, what were your favorite fragrance pickups for this year? Let me know in the comments below. I know y'all gonna tell me because elves, y'all was doing some shopping this year. Y'all was getting new things. Y'all was telling me all about it all throughout the year. So let me know what were your favorites. I will read them and respond when I can. But until next time, elves, I will catch you on the next video. Bye, y'all.